guys. I can't say welcome back to my kitchen because here I am on the porch again. I would like you to say hello to my little friend. I'd kind of like to do a product review today on the Camp Chef 2-burner Explorer stove. It is an outdoor propane stove, and each of these burners is 30,000 BTU. It's approximately 3 feet long. It weighs 30.5 pounds, okay? So it's not super heavy, and yet it's not super light either. It has adjustable legs. When you purchase it, it comes with this nice little wind guard that you see on the back of the stove. It also comes with a 3-foot hose and a regulator for your propane tank. This is a propane, obviously, a propane-operated stove. We've had this stove now for 2 seasons. I have canned on this thing hundreds of times. Now, I know that when we all buy our pressure canners, the very first thing that you see in that owner manual when you buy your brand new pressure canner is, do not use your pressure canner on an outdoor turkey fryer. And I mostly agree with that, but there are people that have found their way around that. An outdoor propane turkey fryer has so many BTUs that you can warp your canner on it. People have found their way around that by using what they call a diffuser plate. And a diffuser plate is like this little round piece of metal that takes the majority of the heat from the flame and kind of equally distributes it underneath your canner. And using a diffuser plate, if you can find one to purchase online or maybe have a metal worker create you one, that's great. They're wonderful things. But what I want to tell you is that my pressure canners are so precious to me and so valuable to me that I would never suggest anything that would damage yours because I don't want to damage mine. Now, like I said, I've had this stove unit, this outdoor stove unit, for 2 seasons now. I do not use a diffuser on it because I don't need to. Now, one of the things is that Camp Chef hasn't necessarily endorsed, the manufacturer has not endorsed these units for canning. In my now 2-year personal experience, I've canned on this thing constantly, and I have never had an issue. And what really sets this particular unit apart from other outdoor propane stoves is that Camp Chef has done this amazing thing. Behind the adjustment knobs here for each one of the burners, there is what is a breather adjustment, okay? There's this little breather adjustment. I think you can maybe see it a little bit better over here. So here's your knob where you control the size of the flame. Now, each one of them has a warm, high, medium, and low, okay? But behind that knob, back here, is this extra little knob, and this is the breather adjustment. And what this does is it controls the amount of air that is getting to the flames, and it controls the flames, okay? Now, what warps a canner is when you have these high BTU flames, orange, red, white flames that are lapping all the way around and up the sides of your canner. That will warp your canner. And when you warp your canner, you're done. SOL, you're sorry out of luck. If you warp your canner, that's it. It's a done deal. You're done using that canner. So none of us want to do that. Pressure canners are a huge investment, and they're so important in our lives. We don't want to ruin them. And so I would never direct you in a direction that would risk your canner, okay? As long as you take what I have to say today to heart, okay? Your indoor gas stoves, okay, like inside your kitchen, if you have a gas stove, normally a gas stove burner, a single burner, is generally around 7,000 BTUs, okay? Some models, you can get them a little bit higher. Some models might not be that high, but that's kind of the middle of the road, from 7 to 12,000 BTUs. Now, like I mentioned, each one of these burners is 30,000 BTUs, okay? That sounds like a really lot. That's a lot of heat. I'll totally admit that's a lot of heat. And so with this unit, number one, you never want to can with it set on high, all right? You are really realistically only going to use either the medium or the low setting on this camp stove, okay? Now, I've canned on this thing for 2 years, and I've learned some things with this unit. Number one, keep it out of direct wind, okay? If you have wind coming through, all that's doing is it's going to blow the heat that your burners are creating. It's just going to blow it right away from your canners, all right? So make sure that you set your stove up somewhere where it's out of the direct wind. If you have a really windy day, make sure that you're on the side of a house, on the side of the house that is kind of protected from the wind, so that all of that heat that's created from the burner can actually be put to use with your canner. All right, number one. Number two, people wonder, well, how much weight can this thing actually handle? Well, I'll tell you what, this is a very, very sturdy unit. These legs are good quality, sturdy legs. And I have had 2 completely full water bath canners on this thing at the same time. And you know, a water bath canner is huge. You've got all of your jars full of food, plus you're immersing them in enough water to come up over above the jars. So those canners, when they're full, can weigh 40, 50 pounds very easily, okay? They're pretty doggone heavy when you're water bath canning. Now, pressure canner, you're not using as much water, and so it is going to be a little bit lighter. But even for those of you that have like All-American canners, and the All-American canners are extremely heavy canners to begin with, and so then when you put your full jars of food in there, it gets even heavier. You know what? I have absolutely zero pause in saying this will handle 2 All-American pressure canners. Absolutely no problem. Anyway, this is a sturdy unit. I have no reservation at all in telling you this is going to handle what you throw at it, okay? So, like I said, it's about 3 feet wide, all right? So you can very comfortably fit 2 pressure canners on there, or like I said, 2 water bath canners. Now, depending on the size of your water bath canner, maybe you'll only be able to fit 1 on there. But the great thing about this is we're all battling the heat right now. We personally don't have air conditioning. So when it's 95, 100 degrees and humid, I don't want to be adding any more heat to the house at all. So this is what's so fantastic about it. I can come out here on the porch and keep all of this heat outside without adding uncomfortable additional conditions to my house. So, as you can tell, I am super stoked about this. And like I said, now, I've had this for 2 seasons, so it's not like I just got this and I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I have used this thing for 2 years, and I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is awesome for canning. Okay, so, like I said, this comes with the windshield, which actually I have found that little shield doesn't really do a whole lot, okay, because it is above the burners. And a lot of times if you have a windy day, what happens is that wind swoops in underneath the guard or underneath the burners itself and kind of causes some air currents and stuff in your burners. So my best advice is make sure that you use this where you're out of direct wind. You know, put up a windshield, whether it would be a tarp or maybe some pallets, or like I am right now, I'm protected on on the wraparound porch. Just go where you're not in the direct wind and you're not going to have problems with it. It comes with, like I said, a 3-foot cord with the regulator on it. So all you need to buy, if you don't already have one, is a little propane tank. Okay? And we use the 20-pound tanks. Now, another really common question is, how long does that 20-pound propane tank last you when you're using the stove? Well, you know what? I can't give you a definite answer on that because it depends on what you're doing with it and how long you're cooking on it. I will tell you that out of the direct wind, I have been able to do 3 90-minute pressure canning sessions on 1 tank of gas. Now, if you're water bathing, it's a completely different thing because you're running that stove for 3 hours on certain items. If you're only doing jam, you're only doing 10 minutes. So you might get 25, 30, 35 canning sessions out of there. It just depends on how you're using it. Nobody can tell you how long that tank is going to last. But can I tell you it's a good value? Yeah, I definitely can. We have a gas stove inside the house. It also runs on propane. And so what's the difference? Whether I pay for propane for that stove inside or whether I pay for propane in this little tank and be able to can outside. All right? So nobody can give you a definite answer on that. Excuse me, guys. But what I can tell you is that I'm totally sold on this thing, for sure. Just sold on it. I think it's awesome. It is the best thing since sliced bread. All right, so I want to show you how it works. I have my tank on, and I'll show you how to light the burners. Each one of these things you have to push and turn to allow the gas from your tank up into the burner area. All right? So you're going to press and turn, and then over here on the side is a little hole. I don't know if you can see how my finger can go all the way through there. And over here on this side, there's a hole on the side. And I don't know if you can see how my finger is all the way inside the burner. All right, so these are your lighter ports, okay? This does not have an auto ignite, so you're going to have a lighter. And I really like these really long candle lighter ones. These things work absolutely beautiful with this stove. So what you're going to do is you're going to press and turn to get the gas into that burner. And then go ahead and light it with your lighter. Now, as you can see, I have really large yellow flames on this right now. That is not what you want. You do not want to place your canner on these flames. I'll set it onto the high. That was on the warm setting. Now I'm on the high setting. Look at this thing. If I set my canner on top of there, we are going to have a warped canner in no time at all. This is absolutely not what you want. So this is where the magic comes in. Let me get another sip of water here again. This is where the magic comes in. We're going to reach back here, and here's this little breather. You're going to start turning that breather. Look at how you can choke those flames right down. To tight blue flames. Okay? Now, I'm going to turn it back up. Now, like I said, this is on the high setting, and I specifically told you, you do not want to can on this stove on the high setting. Don't do it. It's too much heat. But you turn this thing down to medium. Okay? Here's medium, and you have those yellow, orange, whatever flames. Now, you start adjusting that breather. Look at how you can tame that down. Absolute thing of beauty. That is a thing of beauty. Now, if I go down to the low setting, look at how I can back that off, all right? I'm going to grab this other camera here. And let's see if I can find the right. There we go. Look at this, you guys. All right, now I'm gonna do the breather. See here how I'm adjusting the breather? I can even get those things to lap up in yellow just by messing around with that breather. Okay, and you can tell that I am kind of in the wind today. But look at how you adjust those flames. You want to get rid of all of that yellow stuff. You want those tight blue flames. I'm going to turn it back up to medium. Okay, so I got some orange going on there. I'm going to adjust that. Look at how much you can get those things lapping up there. You don't want that kind of flame. That is not what you want. What you want is a nice little tight blue flame. Now a little tiny bit of orange in there, that's okay. That's not going to hurt your canner. But look at how beautiful that is. Even up on the high setting. Now I'm not saying don't ever use your high setting for canning, because man, you can look at that with that breather. I just turned that breather. You got an inferno going on. That is going to cause damage to your canner. That is not what you want. But it's a really good example of how much you can just crank this thing down and get it under control with this little breather adjustment right here. Crank that all the way down so that you have nice controlled blue flames. Lovely, lovely unit. And like I said, they do not endorse their unit for canning. But look at this. This is just like, that is just like the flames that are on most gas stoves in your kitchen. So this is why I say use it on medium or on low. All right? Okay, I'm going to turn this off and tab back over. All right. So anyway, like I said, 2 seasons with this stove. I am super, super impressed. And I would never suggest to you something that I thought that you were going to ruin your canner on. As long as you understand how to use the unit, as long as you understand what those breathers are for, as long as you control those flames to a point where they're tight and blue, you're going to be able to happily can on this thing for years and years to come. So, Camp Chef 2-burner stove. It is the Explorer model is what I have. I do not have any experience on any of their other models, but I'll tell you, this one kicks butt. Super happy with it. If you want to get the heat out of your kitchen, I strongly suggest go and get one of these. Right now I think they run around, I don't know, somewhere in the area of $130, $150. I'm not really sure what, you know, the economy right now is all over the board, so I cannot guarantee what they are priced at. I think I paid around $150 for mine, but that was directly from a local store, which is not a large chain store, so I paid a little bit more because I was buying local. So you could probably find it online a little bit less. Of course, you're going to have to pay shipping. Remember, this weighs about 30.5 pounds, and so, you know, I don't know what your shipping cost is going to be. Go to your Baumgars, go to your Fleet Farms, possibly go to your Menards or your Lowe's. I don't know. Go and check it out and see if maybe they have them in stock. I got mine at Baumgars, and I've been extremely happy with it. So that is my personal customer review. I hope you enjoyed the information. I hope it's useful to you, and happy canning, everybody.